Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to your SideQuest Contact. We're continuing our discussion on we're detailing out one of our scenarios involving one of our contact slash ally characters. Now, just to kind of brief recap, and this is episode 12, so thank you for continuing to hang out and enjoy this time with me. All right, so our Bugbear Ranger. Now, we've already developed one of our encounters, which is going to be a group of mud methods. Now they're going to run into those once they get into the jungle. We're going to have it rain on the players. It's going to be kind of dreary, kind of miserable, some persistent rain. It might let up eventually, and that's why we have all these wet ground, these mud puddles, and now the environment is right for these mud methods to cause some trouble. So let's take a look at these mud methods for a moment here. Let me go to my counters. Because we're going to come up with a couple other scenario encounters to go with these. All right, so mud methods, they're only like 1/4, CR 1/4. All right, so that's fine. So let's go ahead and clear out these mud methods. Let's see what else is out there. Now we don't really want to go above challenge rating 1 for this. And let's adjust our characters again. On average, you'll have 4 players. And right now they're all level 1. Excuse me. All right, so 1, and we don't really want to, we don't want to go to 2 at this point. So we've already looked at 1/4. So let's look at 1/2. Let's see what we can find. CR 1/2, and we got our environments filtered. Okay, good. And let's see. First, let's get an idea of how many we're looking at. Yeah, lots and lots. Okay, well, there's the end. Well, that's not so bad. All right, so what can we find through here that looks interesting? Kind of fits with what we're doing. Hobgoblins. Ooh, well, I'm thinking if we want to continue the deception, but no, I don't want to put any more hobgoblins in there. Some gnolls could be good. I like gnolls as a just a hack and slash monster fight. To fight swarms of insects. We are out in the jungle. We could be dealing with swarms of insects. Yeah, and it just rained, so I know in Florida, after it rains and the sun comes out and it moistens the atmosphere, bugs come out. It's kind of gross. Let's see what else. I think let's go with insects. Yeah, that seems to be the more natural. So what kind of insects are we going to use? Beetles, centipedes, spiders, or wasps? I like wasps. Yeah. Let's see. All right, so let's look at wasps. How many can we put in here? All right, so 1, 2 is a hard difficulty. 3 would be deadly to our group. So let's keep it at 2. So we're going to have them run into some swarms of wasps. So we got scenario encounters. We got 2 swarms of wasps. Now, just to I'm going to remind myself, these are CR 1/4, and these are going to be CR 1/2. So in my mind, I see they're going through the swamp, the jungle. Perhaps they had just dealt with these methods, right? And then perhaps in the dealing of these methods, we can find an opportunity. Yeah, because we don't want to put these on the characters on top of the methods because now we'll have a real deadly encounter and your players will likely die if they're fighting these methods and dealing with swarms of wasps. So let's say that happens afterwards. So they're dealing with the methods. Ideally they defeat them and finish them off, and then perhaps Okay, yeah, we could do like a survival check or a perception check. And if they fail, whoever fails the worst perhaps steps on like a log that has like inside of it there's this big nest, and when they step on it, two swarms where the wasps come out and swarm around the players, something like that. Okay, let's look at wasps. Let's see what they can do. All right, a swarm of wasp resistance. Okay, yeah, because there's swarms of tiny insects. Conditions, they're not immune. They're immune to all these conditions. They have blind sight. Okay. The swarm can occupy another creature's space, vice versa. Okay. They can move through opening large enough for tiny insects. They can't regain hit points or gain temporary hit points. All right. So they bite. So if we have two swarms, we're going to have two attacks on the players each round. Plus three, 4d4. It's kind of, yeah, that's kind of big. 4d4 damage if they hit on a first level character. And once it's reduced to half hit points, to 11 hit points, now we're doing less damage. They have any, let's see, skills? Oh, they got Dex 13, Constitution, yeah, they're not. So it won't be. Hmm. So this could be one of these types of encounters that the players might be able to avoid. Um, let's look at difficulties. I'm going to go difficulty range. This is DC. That's not what I want. Okay. Difficulty class. That's what I want. Okay. So let's say it's a moderate difficulty. If they can hit a survival or perception roll of 15, they'll spot signs of this nest before someone can step on it. And then if no one hits 15, then we can say whoever just rolled the lowest is going to be the one who walks into steps on the log, sits on the log for a moment to take a break, crushes Bob disturbs this nest, and then y'all start spewing out of the various holes in this log. I like that. Let's do that. Okay. Okay, so we can say survival or perception, DC 15, to notice the large hidden nest, or the hidden nests of wasps. If failed, with all fail, the lowest roll steps on it, or sits on it, or whatever, disturbs it, is the one to disturb it, and to get the first set of attacks. Now, this will also provide an opportunity for clever players. If they do spot it, they may take a note of that. They may like want to check it out. Okay, let's not disturb it, but let's see what we have here. Oh wow, let's look inside this log, and yeah, there's these two big nests just kind of crawling with wasps, and they don't want to disturb it because they're going to come out. But perhaps they'll find a way to use that to their advantage sometime. So not all encounters have to be fight it out to 0 hit points. It could be maybe we discover something and maybe we can use that to our advantage later. So that's good. Now we have two scenario-based encounters that are based out in the wilderness, out in the jungle. Let's see if we can get one that's maybe a little closer to home now. Let's go back to our encounters. All right, so we've done a quarter, we've done a half. Now let's go to 1 for challenge rating, I mean. Challenge rating 1, challenge rating 1. Okay, clear these. All right. There's probably likely to be a whole lot of these. Okay, well, not so much. Okay, so let's go through here and see if any of these look good. Tiger, kind of like a prelude, but no, we hold on. I just maybe thought of something. Nah. Okay, so what I was thinking about was maybe they encounter a trapper in the city who has a caged tiger. Big display. Look what I was able to find. Haha, this big, beautiful, giant animal that I now have in a cage. Mm, Druidic, ranger, nature-based players may want to intercede and do something about that. And doing so may endanger or may generate some goodwill from the wearer tiger. Then we don't want to generate that goodwill yet. We're still too early in the story. We want right now that wearer tiger to be scary. So we're going to keep looking. I'm just checking my filters here. So, okay, my environment, sources, nothing searching. Okay. I'm gonna skip Yuan-Ti because I have a whole other adventure about Yuan-Ti. Scarecrows. No. Not seeing really anything that would lend to like an urban-based encounter, or even like the grassy farmland, in between the city and the jungle. And we'll talk about maps. Making maps for all this later. Don't really need a map right now because we're all just kind of brainstorming all this out, and then we can make our map around all this. Okay, yeah, I'm not seeing much in here I like. So, if we don't see something monster manual related that we don't like, we can always just come up with an NPC idea, some kind of NPC encounter. So let's do that. Let's come up with an NPC. This will be for our third scenario encounter for Ingruza's scenario. Now we're going to come up just with a level one NPC. It's not going to be something huge. Now I want to take a look at what we have currently. All right, so let me go into, because I have all this in here. Campaigns. Let's go to DMs. Okay. Let me edit so I can see everything. All right. So we'll do our NPC, this encounter-based NPC, the same way we do all of our NPCs. So let's start with our race, and we do that by based off my method, D6 times a D8. So that's a 1 times an 8. What's an 8? An 8 is a deep gnome. That could be interesting. Deep gnome. All right, and oops, wrong one. What's our deep gnome's background? All right, so that way we do a D4, ignore a 4. All right, so we'll ignore that. Ignore a 4. Roll 2 times, and we're going to ignore a 10. 2 times 8, 16. An investigator. A deep gnome investigator. That sounds fun. Let's put that down. Okay, so scenario. Okay, for the third scenario, we have NPC, deep gnome investigator. So what's our deep gnome investigating? first go let's go read about them, and maybe that'll clue us in. Let's go into here. I think that's going to be in my Monsters of the Multiverse. Deep Gnome. Svirfneblin, natives of the Underdark and suffused with the subterranean realm's magic. They can supernaturally camouflage themselves, and their Smurfneblin magic renders them difficult to locate. These abilities have enabled them to survive for generations among the perils of the Underdark, and they live for about up to 500 years. That's impressive. Okay, so they look kind of cool. Alright, so humanoid, small, 30, dark vision, gift of the Smurfneblin. Alright, so, well, we're not going to be a third level yet, so that's not going to matter. Gnomish magic resistance, Smurfneblin camouflage. You get a dex check plus advantage. You can use this up to up to number of times of your proficiency bonus, and long rest to get them back. So that's cool. I like those. So an investigator, Smurfneblin investigator. So what are they investigating? Well, let's check out our. Let's determine its class now. Now, I like to try to keep the classes diverse. I don't like just a whole bunch of one type of class, so I'm going to see what I have already and then go from there. So far in the NPCs we've made, we have a wizard, ranger, warlock, sorcerer, paladin. Okay, so something. Alright, so let's go look at the classes. And let's try to pick one that is investigator related, but not one we've already picked. Alright, so bards definitely could be investigator related. Bards, clerics, druids, fighter, monk, maybe, maybe. A rogue. Do we use sorcerer already? I don't think sorcerer was on here. We got a fighter, sorcerer. Yeah, we did use sorcerer. Warlock and wizard. Okay. Where was I? Alright, so let's narrow it down. Bard, cleric, druid, monk, rogue. So we have 5 options. I'm just going to ignore a 6. Druid. Okay, so let's hit that in there. Level 1 druid. So, what is our Deep Gnome Druid investigating? And how can the players be the ones to assist or hinder that investigation? Well, if they come from underground, they come from the Underdark, so the investigation is probably bringing this character up to the surface for some, for something. Perhaps he is looking for something, perhaps or someone. I think someone could be a better idea because we already set up a theme where maybe some people are missing, and we'll discover that people are missing and are being taken out to the jungle. So perhaps our Deep Gnome Smurfneblin investigator is trying to find someone, another Deep Gnome who went missing. Okay, so far so good. Let's get a little deeper. I'm going to go in now and look at NPC stuff, the NPC tables. Signing NPCs. And you might recall there's only a couple of these that I actually use where are those tables at? Okay, I think this was it. Weakness and bond. Yeah, that's what I did. These are the no, we don't detailed. Okay, this is here it is. Bond. This might help us determine the nature of this investigation. 2. Yeah, protective of close family members. Okay, that fits so far. Now let's go to secrets. Flaw in secret. 10. Secret crime or misdeed. We've already done that. We already got one for with that, so let's try another one. And we don't. Not every character has to have a secret flaw or. What's 3? Arrogance. Yeah, we already got that. All right, so we can skip that. But we do know that he is protective of a loved one. Bond. Protective of a loved one. Likely taken by or for the were-tiger for possible conversion. Okay, so we're still in the city, and I'm just kind of trying to envision this. We're still in the city. The players have not left yet to go with Frangruza. Now, perhaps this deep gnome can encounter the players before they get into Frangruza's stuff, her situation, and this character could be in the city and doing his own investigation. This character could even approach the player and say, "Hey, I'm looking for someone. Have you seen this gnome, this other deep gnome, family member of mine? Went missing for a while. From the underground, from the Underdark. But don't worry, we're not all evil." Yeah. Okay. So yeah, up on the surface in the city, looking for lost loved one. Investigation. Investigation will bring him to the players. Alright, so who are we looking for? Well, we know we have a Deep Gnome level 1 druid, and we know we're looking for another Deep Gnome, a close family member. So we'll make the Deep Gnome character. We'll make out a character sheet for him or her, and then decide from there. Because then that could give us some clues, some insight. We make the character, see if there's anything in there that you know, um, you know, uh, rings a bell or flashes a light bulb. All right, so that'll be the next thing we do. We're going to make the character for this deep gnome. But we'll do that next time. We're up on time now, so I want to thank y'all for hanging out, and appreciate you staying tuned and learning. If you have any questions, any comments, you are welcome to leave those. I'll answer them to the best of my ability, maybe even in the next video. But thanks again, and see y'all later.